Whatever it takes, I know I can make it through. A Degrassi podcast with Kelsey and Holland too. I know I can make it through.
Hi, and welcome to Whatever It Takes, a podcast about Degrassi, the Next Generation. I'm Kelsey.
And I'm Holland, and today we're talking about Season 12, Episodes 23 and 24, Doll Parts. And Kelsey, will you please read us the episode summary?
Sure. Maya feels unappreciated by her boyfriend and her band, so Tori gives her a pageant-style makeover.
I kind of forgot a lot about this episode because I watched it on Monday.
Yep, me too.
But now all the bullshit's just coming back to me. But the episode is called Doll Parts, which is a 1994 song by Hole. And I think it definitely fits. Like, Maya's trying to be, like, pageant perfect, like a Barbie doll girl. I don't know. Sure. I think it works.
Yeah.
As good as although the song is a little bit more ironic than Maya's trajectory. But the episode starts with Maya singing a really passive-aggressive Guitar Girl song about Cam, like, not sharing his feelings with her, basically.
Pretty much.
Cam
is not paying attention.
He's not paying attention. Oh, yeah, they're, like, in her room, they're studying, and he's, like, stressing out about homework. And Maya's like, why won't you pay attention to me? Like, why don't you want me? We've only kissed 6 times. And then he, like, kisses her, and he's like, now it's 7, and, like, goes back to, like, his homework, and it's awkward. And then she takes off her shirt and is wearing a blue sports bra, and he's like, what are you doing? And it's all weird and awkward.
It's just the most awkward. Also, so I feel like with Cam, with the whole not wanting to sleep with her or whatever, like, I've
not being present
in the
relationship,
but also, like, just like the, you know, the, like, lack of, like, libido, basically. Like,
yeah,
it's such, like, a cliche that it's like, people are under the impression that, like, teenage boys are supposed to always want to, you know,
right?
But, like, especially, I mean, I feel like we've established that Cam definitely has clinical depression.
Yes,
and that is a huge
1,000%.
side effect of clinical depression. Like, that's a, you know, if you're not a sexual person, then, you know, that's, like,
that's fine.
That's what you're about. But also, like, a big part of being clinically depressed is lack of libido. So I feel like it's a pretty good indication.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe he just doesn't want to hook up with her. But the fact that he's, like, very clearly depressed, I feel like from that.
That is adding to this situation. Do we want to do more fashion police?
Yeah.
Aside from blue sports bra?
Yeah. Loving Tori's pageant look.
She's wearing a tiara. Marisol's hair is still bad. Also, did Adam get a haircut? Maybe? Probably.
I like Maya's first pageant dress that she wears.
I like Maya's plaid skirt she wears at some point. Katie's wearing a really bad, like, paint splattery shirt at some point, too.
Maya has a sparkly dress that I enjoy, as well as a fun hairpiece.
Mo is at one point wearing a very Affliction-esque shirt that says destruction on it.
Ugh, remember Affliction?
Yeah, it was not good.
It was not good.
And I've decided that Katie's hair only looks good when it's down, and it looks horrible when she's wearing a ponytail.
Yes.
And that's all that I have.
Me too.
But, yes, then we're at school, and I'm reminded that Zig exists as a human.
Always forget.
And Tori comes in, like, wearing a tiara and is like, I'm going to be competing in the Miss Millennial Canada pageant.
And apparently,
which is a title.
Yes, it is. So we learn that Tori does pageants, which should not come as a surprise.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And
did you know anyone who did pageants? I knew a girl who did pageants.
No, I didn't know anybody who did that.
I don't think she did them into high school, but she did, like, children's and, like, middle school pageants, like a lot of, like, junior.
I, like, don't know if that was a thing where I, like, in my town, and if it was, I didn't know anybody associated with that world. Like, yeah. I don't ever like, the most I ever heard about pageants was, like, from Toddlers and Tiaras, and, like, if it happened, I'm sure it existed in my area, but I was never exposed to that world at all.
Yeah, it was not really a thing, but she did them, and I remember I used to get like brochures sometimes, and she was always like one of the like
on the Miss America track.
Yeah, she was like, it was always like, and I'm not going to say her full name, and this girl, junior Miss whatever, and she'd just be there like smiley and blonde.
Actually, I mean, now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I had a friend in high school who did them, but they weren't like the beauty pageants. They were like the ones where you got scholarships, and it wasn't really about the fashion-y whatever the fuck. It was more about like all your accomplishment type but I feel like I did have a friend in high school who did them, but she didn't talk about it because it was just like she was one of those people in high school where she did everything, and everything she did was just like, this is going on my college application and I'm doing everything because of it. Like, she did so much. She did, and it was just like another like, we'll just add this into it, we're doing this whatever pageant because I have like, it's just like another thing to put on here. I feel like I had a friend who actually did that, now that I'm thinking about it.
Pageants are weird.
Yeah. But then Tori decides she wants to give Maya a pageant makeover because she's feeling insecure about Cam. And Maya's like, I don't think Cam would like that. Like, Cam is not superficial like that. And Tori says all guys are superficial like that. And
which is not true.
Yeah.
Also, like, I mean, I feel like everyone is a little superficial to an extent.
Yeah.
For sure. But also, like, not all guys like that kind
like a pageant look specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like Tori equates being in a pageant with being a pretty person. And there are lots of different ways that people can be pretty, and the pageant is a very specific look.
Yeah, like, I can't, like, every guy that I've dated in my life, like, I can't imagine any of them being attracted to someone who dresses like they're about to be in a beauty pageant.
No.
Yeah, I feel like it's,
no.
It's not universal.
Definitely not. And then we're with Mo and Marisol and Kate. Wait, is it Katie and Jake?
Yeah.
And then they're like, we're going on a couple's vacay to Puerto Vallarta. And I'm like, that sounds awful.
Yes, it does. Also, what high school students go on couples vacations?
Without parents.
Who
are letting them go as long as they get travel insurance.
Which...
that makes no sense.
No sense. Also, Katie has a drug problem. Like, her parents should be like
cracking down.
Way cracking down. I had my own like youth struggles. If you talk to my mother, like, she makes jokes about it now, my parents both do, but like, if you talked to my mother in high school, my curfew was extremely strict because I got into so much trouble so young. Until I left for college, my curfew was like at the latest 11 p.m. Mm-hmm. If I was not in the door by 11 p.m., I was grounded for weeks. If I did not call every hour on the hour, she would come find me.
Oh, my God.
I mean, like, for real. I mean, I still did a whole bunch of garbage nonsense. Like,
you just worked around the rules.
You can't hold this girl down. But I worked around the goddamn rules. Like, the fact that Katie, like, went to rehab and had all these things.
And they're like, she could go on a couple's vacation with her boyfriend and her boyfriend alone.
Yeah.
Sure. We're in Mexico and they don't care if you drink if you're under 18. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, if I had even run this past my mother, she would have laughed herself into an early grave.
No one's gonna let, like, high schoolers do that.
No.
Even if they're, like, the most well-behaved people ever.
Even well-behaved, exactly. Like, your parents wouldn't have let you do that. And you would never have gotten into any
Mexico?
trouble. Hell no. Hell no.
Oh, my God.
Also, that's Mexico from Canada. That's some serious international travel.
Seriously. Yeah, no.
No.
Anyway.
Insane.
If the parents care enough that they are telling their children that they need to get travel insurance, there's no way they wouldn't at least be freaking out about them being in a foreign country where, like, drug cartels are a very real threat to people. Like, no.
Alone.
No.
Alone.
They're like
couples.
no,
Like, it's like
stupid.
Sex is implied.
Yeah.
Drinking is implied.
Yeah.
Drugs are implied. Like, what the fuck else are you going to do?
It's like on the OC where they're like, we're going to TJ, NBD. Thanks, Mom and Dad.
But at least with the OC was like so out of reality, and
That's
these
true.
kids were so privileged
Seth
and
and
did
Ryan
whatever they want.
Did lie and say they went to Comic-Con.
That's true. Yeah. But like Marissa and Summer were so spoiled and
Yeah.
privileged that they would have gotten whatever they wanted, and it was so like out of
The realm
reality.
of possibility. Yeah.
That I was like, honestly, I buy this. This is insane.
Nope. It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. But Mo is like acting weird and like seems like out of it.
And he like is avoiding filling out the health forms.
Well,
for
no,
the
because
travel insurance.
Jake or Katie is like, I'll fill out your forms, Jake. No worries. And Marisol's like, oh, Mo, I can fill out your forms. And he's like, no, I can do it. And then he leaves. And she's like, why won't he let me fill out his health forms? And I'm like, that's not a weird thing.
No.
It's weird that Katie's filling out Jake's health forms.
I'm like,
what the fuck high school girlfriend knows all of their boyfriend's like medical issues?
No, that's
enough that they
insane.
can fill out a
That's
form
weird.
by themselves.
that's like barely even adult stuff.
That's super weird.
Like, I have full disclosure filled out tax forms for another person before, but they were also with
That's
me.
different.
It's different because I just knew how. But they were also with me to like give me like social security numbers and shit. Why would Katie know
why
any
would
of this?
Katie know Jake's social? I mean, maybe it's different in Canada. I don't really know how that works, but still, I don't fucking know.
Insane.
Oh my god. Anyway, Marisol's like, why doesn't he trust me to fill out his medical forms? I'm like, that's not a weird. It's not a weird. It's like, let him do his own shit. He doesn't need you to baby him.
It's weird that she's upset about it.
It's
That's
weird,
the weird
that
part.
she's upset about it. It's so weird. But then we're with Dallas, who's helping Adam weight train because Adam wants to play volleyball.
And he also wants to start taking testosterone, which we've known about for a long time.
And his mom is still like, I don't know about that. But then we're with Maya, and she's singing that song again.
And it's bad. Can we talk about how bad that song is?
It's bad, but I feel like it's the best whisper hug song we've heard.
That is correct. That is correct.
Like, I can listen to it like the 3 times she sings it in this episode and be like, fine, whatever. I don't want to kill myself.
Yeah.
Which is not something I've ever been able to say about a whisper hug song until today.
That's true.
And Mo was like, it's great, but like, we're going to have Imogen sing it because she's sexy and you're not. And it basically.
Which is rude. He's like, well, you look like you're 10.
It's ridiculous.
It's very rude.
It's very rude.
It's Maya's song.
Yeah.
Like, let her fucking sing it. Also, I feel like 6 months ago, Mo would not have been calling Imogen sexy.
No. And also, apparently, they have a battle of the bands coming up because literally that's all that happens on the show.
With bands. They must be in a battle of the bands.
How frequent are battle of the bands, though?
Not very, because most of my friends in high school were in bands. Actually, most of my friends, like, now that I'm still in touch with from home are in bands, or, like, at least related to the music industry in some way. I've never been to a battle of the bands.
Like, is that a real thing, or is that just something that TV shows and movies make up to, like, create some kind of competition aspect to the music world that isn't already just trying to make it in the music industry?
I think that's it. And also, I'm sure,
like band
I'm sure they
sports.
exist. I'm sure they exist. Battle of bands, whatever. But in my experience as like someone who knows a lot of people who have been in bands and high school bands and whatever, that has never been a thing in my life.
Also, like, I feel like I would never want to go to a battle of the bands.
No, that sounds horrible.
Like, just a lot of, like, bands I've never heard of trying to be the best band that I don't give a shit about.
No, I barely liked going to my friends' shows as is because I had to listen to their bad bands and then also everyone else's bad high school bands.
Is there a lot of, like, regional competition between, like, bands in the same area?
Not that I know.
Like, do people care about that kind of thing?
No, there was a lot of infighting.
Yeah, that's what I would. Yeah,
that's about it.
Like, I don't know. I feel like Battle of the Bands is fake news.
I agree. Battle of the Bands, fake news.
Or at least like it being an important staple of like being in a high school band. I have no idea.